The Greek scientist and historian Strabo speculates about the great palace of Queen Cleopatra, who was sung by poets of all times and perfumes, and says that the palace was one of the most beautiful and magnificent palaces in the world, and it was also built on an island located in the middle of the sea in front of the ancient port of the city of Alexandria, and the island contained a temple to the god Isis. Focused with me in all the details to talk about his approach. He completes his tour of the island and says that Queen Cleopatra owned the Golden Sun ship that she used to reach the palace island, and the ship was plated with gold and had oars made of silver and decorated with many golden statues. And in the middle of the ship there is an umbrella made of pure gold to protect the queen from the sun. These words show us the extent of the huge wealth of Egypt in ancient times. Because Egypt at this time was one of the major economic power in the world. The real name of the bombing island was Ancie, and many Greek historians succeeded in describing the island in a very accurate description, and they said that the royal palace was decorated with magnificent statues, huge columns, and floors bearing very impressive images. Of course, this talk drew the attention of all archaeologists to find the island and Cleopatra's lost palace. And here blooms the sunken archaeologist who succeeded in discovering the sunken city of Rockwellion in the waters of Alexandria in the year 1996. So he began to search in ancient sources for the actual location of the island of Ancie Rhodes, and indeed he succeeded in finding an old map dating back to the year 20 BC, and it appeared in the map the location of the island, and it was on the eastern side of the old port. Along with Franco Guidio, he begins to use the latest equipment, such as sonar equipment and electromagnetic spaces. Here bloom extraordinary results. Abnormal images of the sea floor are found. And the pictures were rectangular shapes. Here, scientists believe that the effects discovered. It may be man-made. Also, many red dots bloomed. The team begins to dive to the bottom of the sea, and once they reach the bottom, ancient treasures begin to bloom. The first thing to be discovered is the Sphinx statue. And next to the second statue of the Sphinx. They are in excellent condition. With the continuation of the research, they discover a statue of the god Isis, many broken columns, and returning to the description of the Greek scientist Strabo on the island of the palace, so that scientists make sure that they discovered the temple of Isis that was present on the island, and they succeeded in recreating the shape of the temple. There were two granite statues of the Sphinx in front of the temple, and many columns that supported the roof of the temple, in addition to the statue of the god Isis. Thus, the scientists succeeded in locating the island. And there is nothing left but the royal palace and the golden ship. With the continuation of the excavations, Allosaur is located on the floors of the royal palace. Who uploads amazing photos. It is still admired by its beautiful colors and shapes. Scientists also captured many massils that adorned the palace, and the forms of massils confirm the words of historians that the palace was one of the most important palaces in the world, and it was among the massils that King Caesarion, the son of Queen Cleopatra from Julius Caesar, were contemporary with, and this is how the ruins of the royal palace were discovered. As for the ship of the sun, the wreckage of the ship was found near the palace. And when he examined the ship, it was found that it dates back to the era of Queen Cleopatra. Unfortunately, scientists are unable to establish that it is the golden ship. In a narration that says that with the entry of the Romans into Egypt, they looted the ship. And then they set it on fire. Is it possible that the remaining shipwreck of the Golden Sun ship? And now we come to the important question. What is the reason that led to the sinking of Alcazar Island? Historical records are determined by a devastating earthquake. It hits Alexandria in the year 365 of birth. And of course the earthquake resulted in a very violent tsunami. A huge part of the city of Alexandria is swallowed up, and here the royal island disappears at the bottom of the sea. Thus, we have come to the end of the story. If you like the video, do not forget to like, and the most important thing is to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell.